I build that brand. We got friends from California. John, welcome to the call. We got Maryland in the building, Mr. Magatis, welcome. Okay, we got California IC, welcome. Minister Barkley, welcome out of Florida. We got Reginald Hodge out of Hazard, Texas, welcome. Miss Frankie Riddle out of Jacksonville, Arkansas. Well, let's go. So we're getting this call started to handle this. How I like to handle this. I love to educate. I love to educate on top. Creating wealth for our families, and for our families. When I talk about creating wealth, when I talk about it's not about you to understand. I want you to understand. It's about the knowledge, about the change you have to attain source. And I believe that source, and I believe situation get into a situation that they can't get out of because of the lack of knowledge. And I believe that I'm an educator for you to make a decision, tonight. And whether that's part of our so that you can learn, or at least have your turning some books behind me. I love what's always my story. And if I give you my story, listen, I come from humble beginnings, born and raised in Compton, California. I remember being back when I was 18, 19, young teenage dad. And I made a very important decision in my life to change my life forever, okay? I decided to leave my environment. I joined the United States Air Force, enlisted in, finished my degree while I was in, okay? Got into an environment that allowed me to flourish and grow. How many of you realize that your environment, it matters so that you can flourish? How many people realize that if you were to plant a seed in rock, that in rock and didn't water it might not grow. But if you plant a seed in good soil, okay, and you groom it every single day, that thing is going to plants. We need something that constantly is grooming us. We need good soil for it so that we can grow. But unfortunately, depending on our environment, well, we're not in a thriving environment. So if I can give you anything to myself, I believe I'm representing a community of people who have the same beliefs that I have. And I believe that because a little bit of my background wise, when I joined the Air Force, I became a pilot. Flew C-130s for about 9.5 years, deployed to Afghanistan, been to Iraq, did some amazing things, got a lot of leadership, and I'm grateful because I believe that God, a lot of that leadership that I learned and that I experienced, and now bring it over to this arena. And not only was I fighting for freedom back then, I'm still fighting for freedom now. It's just under a different umbrella. We're now fighting for the financial of a lot of people, and I love to educate people about how to gain their financial independence, right? Or shall I say financial peace. A lot of you need peace. If you need financial peace, I want you to drop a 1-1 in the chat. What is financial peace? You're not worried about the bills, okay? You're not worried about the being enough. You're not worried about where I'm going to get my source of income so I can this and I can pay that, okay? It's here, right? You have the knowledge. And so tonight we're going to talk about, how getting involved in a company that has been changing lives around the globe. And I say that because it's changed my life. When I was in the Air Force, stayed in the Air Force for about 14.5 years, I got diagnosed with lupus in 2012 while I was going through instructor pilot training. And I thought that was it. Listen, I got involved in this industry 9 years ago, and I just wanted to build something really fast. So my family, when I left this earth, they had something that I could leave behind. Great. And I love that because it doesn't matter what's happening inside the economy, because there's two people that live in an economy, okay, where there's two people, right, with two different results under the same economy. And based on what you're understanding in education is determine whether you thrive in this economy or whether you get eaten up in this economy. And that's just okay. And so when I say that there's two people, there is a person right now in this economy while everything is happening and they're getting richer. You see, the rich continually get rich and the poor. Over the past several years, while everything has been in to the 1%, I say given, not given, but the 1% got, okay? While at the same time, there were people losing jobs.
Okay, guys, while I am setting this up, basically what he's talking about is the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And there's information for the poor and fish information for the rich.
There are people's income going down. There are people getting moved out of their place. There are foreclosed.
Come in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. I am loading up. I'm loading up my screen so that you guys could have access to it. So give me a second. I thank y'all for being patient with me because it's very important information that you definitely need to know. And I want you to, I definitely want you to have access to it. Hope everything is well with you all on today. It's a lot going on. I can tell you that. It's a lot going on. I tell you, sometimes it's like when you want good and you do things for the greater good, it's always like certain things try to block you and make sure that you don't accomplish what you want to do, but you have to push through. You definitely have to push through. And this is a time where you definitely really have to push through because there can be so much opposition, but you always have to say what it is that you want, not let things be based upon what you're seeing right now, but what you want to see, what you want to happen, not your current situations and distractions. So I think recording in progress.
Two people living in the same roof getting different results. If you are number one, if you're a top 1% and you have assets, guess what? You're getting richer. But if you're 50% or below and you don't own anything, then you are losing money. Okay, your money is currently being debased. You're working harder for less. And so I love this because I didn't understand what I'm teaching you right now, folks, until I got involved with the company 4 years ago. And this company that I'm talking about right now allowed me to open my mind up, because I thought I was making money. I thought I was stuck because I was a pilot. Let me be honest, okay? And it wasn't until I gained a lot of knowledge to realize there was a whole nother world out there of people that understood the flow of money and how it works. And hence now we have digital currency coming in. I'm gonna tell you why digital currency for a reason. Okay, we know there's inequalities. When you look at the top 1% versus the bottom 50%, to be in the top 50%, you gotta make at least 38,000 folks, but that's a big gap right there. The top 1%, $488,000 or more. Okay, and we look at some of the biggest countries like the US and the UAE and Bahrain. You have Canada that's up there. But the US, we have a big gap as well as the UAE, who has a huge gap in wealth. And we talk about the inequalities across the country. When you're looking at this chart, yes, we know there's inequalities, and that's okay. Wonder if you controlled your own source. Okay, that's what I want to teach you here. How do you control your own source? You can go out and get whatever you want in this thing. 4 years ago, I learned how to do that. Okay, so what you're seeing on this chart here is African American income versus if they're white counterparts. Okay, and you can see in one state, I don't know how, but in Wyoming, never been to Wyoming before, but 42% versus everything else. Then you have the housing. Housing is going up to where the average home today is about $390,000. Most people will not be able to afford to live in a home. The American dream, for example, what we used to call the American dream, is getting so far away from people. So when people tell me, well, I can't do this because I'm saving for a house. And in my head, as soon as they say it, I say, you can't outsave my thing. So you need to figure out a way to make your money work for you. Okay, because saving money right now is not really going to help you unless you're going to do something with it. You know, Warren Buffett said that, rich people get rich because they go broke investing. Middle class are in the middle because they save all their money, and the poor are poor because they spend their money. And so I take that now, and if that triggered you, listen, it's supposed to. I have a book called The Psychology of Money. We get triggered for certain things because we have certain beliefs that we grew up with. I had certain beliefs that I grew up with, okay, that repelled, hear me closely, repelled wealth away from me, repelled money away from me. So one thing you got to understand today is either you are attracting money, okay, or you are repelling money. And if you're not attracting it, then it's the opposite, and there's no in between. So how do we gain it? Well, we got to gain some knowledge, right? We got to gain some wisdom. We got to get some experience under our belt. And we have to understand we don't know what we don't know. What you're seeing right here is obviously healthcare is through the roof. I was just talk to some family, and I didn't realize I'm privileged. I'll tell you, I'm privileged in this way. I served in the military. I retired out in 2013. Medical is pretty much paid because I'm a retiree. I'm a veteran, but I never realized how much it costs to insure someone. And they were saying up to $1,600 for an individual person. And so I wonder, how are people living? And you understand, it's the money system. Once again, that debasement. So how do you win? Two people living under the same roof, getting different results, and which one you are. Okay, we know we're at an all-time high when it comes to inflation. Now, when you look at this number, you're not crazy when you say, how is it that we're only at 6.8% inflation? It's not that we are just at 6.8% inflation. It's just the way that they calculate how they show you the inflation number through CPI, Consumer Price Index. But the real number for some of us, right, if you go to work every day, you got to utilize gas. So you're being impacted about 50% of your income. If you have to rent an apartment or rent a home, okay, you just lost out on 30%. Rent has increased across the nation by 30%. So of course, inflation is actually not really that number, it's higher. So you got to understand, how do I look towards the future? Well, the only way to look towards the future is to educate yourself in something that you gain knowledge for. You see, I read a good book that said, listen, people perish because they reject knowledge. Okay, you got to understand, you don't know what you don't know, so you got to dive into some things. And I hope I'm teaching you something right now. Yeah, foreclosures are at a record high. There's been 20,000 foreclosures per month since September 2021. One of the things I love to talk on is the banking system, because this is critical. Because when we talk about money, where are you storing your money at today? What are you doing with your money? How are you utilizing? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax advisor, okay? I'm just showing you some things that are just open for source so that you can think about them and have something to understand, okay? When we talk about banks, when I talk about cryptocurrency, the first thing people say is, I don't want to do that. There's no insurance behind it. Well, there are banks that just closed, and I just read an article how someone just lost a couple $1,000 that they deposit because that bank closed down. And they said, well, I thought FDIC works. And I most people don't understand this, but FDIC is for the banks. It's not for the individual, okay? So if the banks didn't follow the procedures, then they just miss out on the insurance, which the holders that had their money there miss out too. So a little nugget in education for you. Of course, millions of people are not just now finding out the very thing that they've been taught about the retirement plan, the 401ks, have fallen short. So they're looking for things to do. You got baby boomers right now. 50% of baby boomers are not in position to retire. As a matter of fact, you'll see the numbers that I'll show that over the next 8 years, by 2030, every baby boomer will be at retirement age. But also by that time, you got to understand, there's going to be 35 million people that are going to be added below the poverty level during that time as well too. So when we're talking about this, I believe I'm passionate about it, and I believe that we're going to empower 1 million families and teach them how to move on their own and understand this system. Okay, but that's what makes me passionate, because if people don't learn this system, they can't feed themselves. When you look at El Salvador just adopted Bitcoin. Now, like I said, I'm heavy in cryptocurrency. I enjoy it. I love to educate on it. El Salvador just adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender. And listen, there has been pressure on them to take it back, but they won't, because they understand that they had to detach themselves from the traditional way of doing or moving in this economy. Okay, so because they detach themselves from that, they're starting to thrive. Okay, you look at some of the stuff that their president said. Low-income countries have long suffered because their currencies are weak and extremely vulnerable to market changes, and that triggers rampant inflation. Just like we're going through now, imagine if you're in a third world country right now, you're being impacted even more than we are here in the U.S. Because why? Because your money is still exchanged for the U.S. dollar, and that does impact. So a lot of countries are following suit and saying, hey, I like what's going on. So you got Tonga and Turkey and Bolivia that are considering making Bitcoin a legal tender as well too. There was a bill in Arizona. Man, this one is huge. Senator Wendy Rogers, she just put up a bill. Okay, and I'm going to show you that after this clip here. She just put up a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender in Arizona. Okay. Yes, that's going to cause some friction and some movement, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the innovation that's going to happen after that, because we're far long overdue. Okay. Looking at the legislation that she submitted up. If we look at number 4, it says what? Legal tenders, right? You see that? And then number 4 is Bitcoin. And it says, for the purpose of the section, Bitcoin means the decentralized, right? Decentralized means that, okay, that means we now have ownership of something, and it's outside of the centralized banking system. It's a peer-to-peer payment system. And so when they say it at the bottom, operates independently of the central banks, you now get control. But with control comes what? Responsibility. And this is where education comes in at. Okay, one of the 4th largest mutual fund holders in the entire United States said that, listen, Bitcoin is a superior form of money. They also partner with a top company called Nexo that deals in the cryptocurrency market. So a lot of people are seeing the movement, and they understand. Okay, in early February of 2021, there were over 100,000 documented Bitcoin millionaires. And I'm going to show you what I call the Bitcoin rich list. But millennials are really leading the way in this process. Why? Because it's their form today. Okay, it's the way of innovation for them today. And so I'm grateful, because I'm a Gen X. But when I went to the military, I understood that innovation and technology, that you always got to constantly grow and evolve as a human being. So we see this article here, millennial millionaires, most of them, 83% of them are holding cryptocurrency in some shape or form. You have a big exchange by the name of Crypto.com. Some of you know them. Or I'm sorry, FTX Exchange, and I'm going to talk about Crypto.com, but FTX Exchange, they bought the Miami Heat's arena, and they bought it for $135 million for the naming rights. So this was symbolic for me, because it showed me the transition between traditional businesses, okay, and where we are in the future. Okay, now we're going to become digital entrepreneurs. If we don't pivot, it's similar to the .com. Companies that didn't understand that it was important to move with the times and get on the internet and start using their business model there, okay, they eventually perished. And now you have companies like Apple and Microsoft. They were birthed through the .com. You have Amazon birthed through the .com. And now they're birthing themselves through this digital age era that we have right now as well too. Okay, and that's education that's required. Crypto.com, they spent $700 million for the naming rights of the Staples Arena. The Lakers Center is now in the Crypto.com arena. So when we talk about cryptocurrency, it's here, okay, and we're early. And if you are here and you understand it, you know that you can position yourself in the right place. You got Jack Dorsey, who was the CEO of Twitter. Jack Dorsey stepped down as the CEO because he wanted to get greatly involved in the crypto market. And he felt that he was being tied to the social media platform of Twitter. So when he stepped down, it gave him full out permission to just really go full out with this company called, formerly known as Square, now known as Block. And they're doing some amazing things. He partnered with Jay-Z so they can create a Bitcoin trust. And with that Bitcoin trust, they put some Nigerians some different South Africans, and I believe some other African countries on the board so that they can actually create an infrastructure for Bitcoin. So understand, this is not just a United States thing. This is a global international thing where people are now adopting. We already talked about the partnership with Fidelity. Fidelity is shifting from its traditional ways of utilizing money for its investors and saying, hey, I want to give you access to cryptocurrency. So I know this is going to be a thing. Of course, the NFT space, a lot of people don't understand, but here's how I look at this. We're going from what the Picasso paintings were, right? You could buy a Picasso from 140,000 all the way to 140 million, okay? And that's a physical frame. And now today, the Picasso family is actually going to get involved with the NFT space. And all that we did is now digitize what we know is physical. We digitize it so it can be on something called the blockchain, okay? And so now your new Picasso, which you hear something like the Bored Apes Yacht Club, okay? In my opinion, those are the new Picassos of our time. And so you're seeing celebrities and artists and entertainers. You're like, why are they buying this little JPEG picture for over 200,000 or more? Okay, I know. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. But when you get into a space and you start learning, then you can know. Okay, and you understand why are they doing that? Okay, get educated on it. YouTube CEOs are hitting that potential NFT features they're going to add. So I believe that NFTs are going to be something that's going to be ingrained in our culture. Twitter now they're saying, hey, we're going to put a hexagon here so that you can actually claim the rights of something that you buy. Okay, when you buy the JPEG picture, because some people will go, well, I can just screenshot your NFT and then put it on my profile. Okay, that's all going to change. But it's like stealing. It's like taking a picture of a physical Picasso and saying, hey, I'm going to get the same benefits. Absolutely not. The owner is actually going to get the monetary benefits, right? You just got a picture of it. And so understand it's the same space and you get to learn a little bit more because what we're going to talk about here is educators that have the knowledge to teach you at a very high level. The only way that I have the knowledge I'm teaching right now is because I joined this institution, this company 4 years ago. Okay, Walmart. Okay. I'm heavy in the real estate game. And one of the strategies I used to use when I was looking for opportunities in the real estate market is anytime I figured out that there was going to be a Walmart built, I understood that Walmart definitely had way more money than I had, and they did way more research than I did. And so if they were going to build a Walmart somewhere, they knew that there was going to be a lot of buildings going to be built up around them. Okay, so understand Walmart sees value in the metaverse happening. Okay, something that's virtual, the new virtual reality coming here. They actually filed with the U.S. Patent and Trade Office that they are going to start creating an online community in the metaverse, folks. You got Adidas and Prada who did a big event together, and they made money not only for themselves, but remember, this is about community. Web 3.0 is about ownership. Okay, so when this is launching, when I say Web 3.0, and we use it, it's more of a marketing term, but you have Web 1.0, which is your traditional internet. Remember the dial-up? Remember that, y'all? Okay, CompuServe and AOL. Okay, those things are a thing of the past. Then we 2.0, so when we have Wi-Fi, and now we have Web 3.0. We talk about blockchain, we talk about ownership, and we talk about digital art and things of that sort. That's where we are now. So we have to shift with the times, but to shift, you got to be educated. All right. So a lot of corporations are getting in position to do exactly that. Okay. And so I remember Adidas about a month ago, they launched one of their first projects and they literally made $30 million in less than an hour. But here was the best part about that. When they did that, the people who those NFTs turned around and bought it on a platform called OpenSeas, and they were to sell it for 4 times more than they bought it for. Now, that won't always be the case. Now, hear me closely. This is where education is required. You got to understand why you're doing these things. But the biggest part I want you to take from that is that not only did they accumulate wealth for them, it was a partnership collaboration thing. And that's the power behind where this space is going to. Facebook is getting involved in the metaverse now. You have Apple that's getting involved in the metaverse now. You have Microsoft that is building a metaverse as well. You know, MicroStrategy, they just bought 660 more Bitcoins. Listen, the CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, if you ever heard that name before, definitely Google it. Michael Saylor is literally, I would say, the poster boy of Bitcoin right now. He's the number 3 holder of all wallets, which I'll show you in this next one when it comes to Bitcoin. He understands the value, and I'll tell you why he's doing this. He was a part of the dot-com boom, and he's been one of the longest reigning technology companies that has been around in its existence for a reason. And so he said, he said, if I ever got an opportunity to do this again, he said, I would actually get my company involved. And he's doing exactly what he said he's going to do. And so here we are. He has 125,051 Bitcoins, folks. Okay. And so here's a Bitcoin wallet. And what I love about this industry, it's transparency. It's open. Okay, no longer could we think about like a bank collapse and we not expect it, right? In 2008, no one expected the banking system to actually collapse. Why? Because that was a centralized system that no one could see. We couldn't see what was on their books. And now today, you can see all the money moving, all the digital assets moving around the world through what we call a blockchain. Okay, what you're seeing right here, all I want to show you is this. Okay, owning one Bitcoin today means you're in the top 2% of Bitcoin holders. That's a huge deal. Okay, I always tell folks so what Fidelity said is, listen, Bitcoin is first. Bitcoin is a superior form of money. And when I tell folks, listen, you know, you got to learn about it first. And this is what our academy teaches is why Bitcoin. I want you to understand why Bitcoin. Yes, on this session, I gave you a lot of education about why cryptocurrency, and you're seeing the facts, you're seeing the proof, but now you need the knowledge. You know, when we talk about one of the largest exchanges like Binance, they started with a cryptocurrency called the Binance token, right? It started at $37 in 2021, and in 3 months went up to $332. And there's a lot of things like that. Cardano, 18 cents to $1.29. Listen, I was plugged into IM Academy, and we have powerful educators like Curtis Cobain, Mike Sotero, Nick Gomez, okay, Crypto Picasso, Ivan Paychecks, and so many others that educated us on this field that we were ready. And so a lot of these projects, I'm seeing prices on here, but we were in way before that because they had educated us on it. We were ready. And so, of course, I already talked about what the dollar is doing, folks. This is a visual representation. Our dollar has been debasing ever since its existence, folks. The more that we print money, the more that it goes down. That's what it is. Okay, more proof. You want to look up U.S. debt clock. Okay, we just broke above $30 trillion in national debt. Okay, by 2026, we're supposed to push to about 52 trillion, and by 2030, we'll be at 84 trillion in debt. So the rich get rich, the poor get poor, and so you got to understand those numbers. When we look at those poverty levels in 2022, for example, 27 million people in poverty right now. Okay, and there's 22 millionaires now. By 2030, listen, there's going to be more people in poverty, and in that same time that people are going in poverty, there's going to be 6 million new millionaires that were created. That's crazy. And so it's not just something that we say cliche, it's that the numbers show that. And so how do you become a part of the top percentage so that you place yourself in a position to understand so that you can learn how to fish? I always tell folks, listen, you can't believe everything you hear. Go look at the facts. That had a statement I would say as a pilot, hey, I trust with verification. You can tell me all day long. Okay, if I'm flying an airplane, for example, I was a C-130 pilot. Okay, my co-pilot say we're at this altitude. Okay, I can accept what my co-pilot says, or I can say, heard you, and I'm gonna look at the altimeter and say, oh, okay, we're at that altitude. I trust with verification, right? You need to start trusting with verification. That's a rule that I live by. Okay, it kept me safe, it kept me alive while I was serving in the Air Force. And so when we look at Bitcoin, for example, you would hear things like Bitcoin is crashing and this is happening. But we look here where Bitcoin started at 30 cents here in 2011, went up to 30 bucks. Okay. And then this is what they would call a crash. If you got in at 30 cents, it went up to 30 bucks. Let's say you didn't get out here and it corrected. Well, that's $2 here. It's still above this part. Well, in our academy, we teach you what an uptrend is, folks. And this is what we call an uptrend. And we teach you how to identify things of that sort. This is Michael Saylor. You just seen his company, MicroStrategy. Like I said, I follow a lot of stuff that he does as well, too. So, you know, how did I learn all this information to be able to speak to you right now? Okay, welcome to I Am Master Academy. I learned through this source right here, and never, okay, in a million years that I think I can get in front of a lot of people and really educate you on money, educate you on assets, educate you on how things in the economy flows. Okay, this has been absolutely powerful for me, and we're just getting started. And understand that these are the numbers and what they are. 95% of the global population only accounts for 5% of the wealth, and those numbers are actually lower. Okay, it's lower percentage that they account for that wealth. Here in America, for example, 50% only accounts for 3 trillion, while the top 1% accounts for 61 trillion. Okay, that goes for the world the same exact way. When we talk about the wealth, okay, in America, for example, 97%, okay, of the wealth is controlled by the top 1%, really, or the top 3%. And so how is that possible? Well, we look at the breakdown. Okay, 95% they have to work for money. You just seen the printing of how the clock moves so fast. When the printing of money happens, you can't outwork how fast money is being printed. So I have a rule in my home. I give my dollar an assignment before it leaves my home. Well, what type of assignment is that? Well, you're going to learn as we keep on talking here. It comes from education. Where am I going to place that dollar at where it gives me the most work that I don't have to work? Because either I have to work for the dollar or the dollar has to work for me, and I choose to get my dollar to work for me. That's what it means to pay yourself first. And so we end up in this 5% where 4% of people are entrepreneurs because they learn a system that can start working for them and to generate money without them having to be a part of that source. And then you become bigger as you become an investor. If you choose to do that, that's the top 1%. They are now, every dollar, it has an assignment. Every dollar goes to work, and then they don't have to work. So the more money that you get to work for you means the less that you have to work for you. Okay, let me say it again. The more money that you get to work for you, the less you have to work for you. Okay. And so I want to introduce you to the largest financial market in the world, folks. Changed my life in a major way. We have a platform that's so simple to plug into. So if you like everything that I'm talking about and you want to learn, listen, I love this company. I'm working on my doctorate's degree. I'll be starting a doctorate's program next month. And I'll tell you right now, okay, between my bachelor's and my master's, there has been nothing that has paid me more, okay, knowledge-wise, that has helped me in my life than this academy right here, okay? I know even with my doctor's degree, I'm doing that because it's free, okay? I serve the country and I have a GI Bill, so I'm doing it. But I know this is the education that really changed my life. So when you plug into us, you're gonna get a login, and it's very simple. You're gonna be able to look at 25 videos about cryptocurrency. If you get involved with our foreign exchange, you're gonna be able to look at a couple videos about how to get into the foreign exchange market. If you get into our e-commerce program, we're gonna teach you how to become a digital entrepreneur online, dealing with different platforms. So it's very simple to use what we have going. So one of our first academies is called the Forex Academy. All that it means is that you're going to learn how to exchange one country's currency for another country's currency. So if you were to go to Mexico, you would understand the timing at which you should exchange the US dollar for the Mexican peso so it can be in your benefit. Okay, and that goes for any currency inside the world. Do you realize the banking system has been the Forex market since its existence, but regular people could not get inside the foreign exchange market until about a little bit over 10 years ago. And let me let you know, you can download an app right now and do this, but it will be silly to do it without education because you're getting involved with some people who have a lot of knowledge about the foreign exchange market. And if you don't have the same knowledge, you may be the losing piece in that game. Okay, and of course, you've heard me talk about this. Yes, I have some biases when it comes to cryptocurrency because I believe that we're at a pivotal point in our life where we're watching history happen and the change happen in our money system. Okay, so Digital Currency Academy, we have some of the top of the top. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that because I'm a part of this company. I'm saying that because they truly changed my knowledge base. They changed the way that I look at money. Okay, if you make a lot of money right now, listen, I was a guy that multiple six-figure income. I have this, I have that. Okay, that didn't matter. It doesn't matter if your money doesn't have an assignment. And when I got into the cryptocurrency market, I got vision. I got to see where this thing was going. And it led me to books. It led me to other things. All that this is going to do is show you what you didn't know. And then when you know it, it gives you more information to go research the right things and go look for it and put yourself in position. Okay. And so the great part is you're going to get an academy. You're actually going to get live interaction like what's happening right now. Okay. Imagine being able to do this on a daily basis and you plug in with people who actually have knowledge about the cryptocurrency market. No longer do you have to go to YouTube and you go here and you're looking for different markets and trying to learn and you don't know if it's even valid information. Okay. One thing I could tell you is you're always going to get valid information inside of our academy and through our educators. So we have top educators, over 200 experienced educators in Forex, in cryptocurrency, in the e-commerce market, in high frequency trading. So understand there's so much that you can do here and you get to plug into all of it. I'm fortunate because I'm an elite member in this company and I've went through every academy and I can tell you it's hands down the best. I went through our Forex Academy first. Then I went through our high frequency trading academy. And then I completed the DCX Academy. I got to make a decision of which one did I want to really stay in. I do them all, okay? But I live in cryptocurrency for the most part, right? We have a lot of different tools, okay? So we have different tools that give you algorithms so that you can enter the market the right way. Our harmonic scanner, for example, patterns that you see in the market, it can find those patterns and you can actually go into a trade, go into a sell, go into a buy. Okay, you got buy broad is something so simple that if you want to make money when you want to make money, okay, you can go into the markets, look at when a line crosses this line, you can go into a buy or sell. You have things like levels, okay, at a certain point where price hits, you know that you can go into a trade at that point, whether it's a buy or sell. You have pivots, turnaround points in the market that you can get into. See, I can talk about every product, folks. I love them all. They all work. Okay. And one of my greatest ones, of course, Swipe Coin Scalper. If you want to get involved with Bitcoin or Ethereum and learn when to sell and when to buy, we have top-notch tools that you can plug into and use towards your advantage. We even have an app you can download called Swipe Coin, okay, for the cryptocurrency market, or Swipe Trade for the Forex market. This is a copy and paste opportunity where you have top-notch traders that are going to tell you what zones that look for when it comes to, hey, man, this is a nice buying zone. Hey, this is a nice selling zone. Okay. And so when you see that, you start getting educated and you start learning it. And now you know how to do it by yourself. I've been involved with this platform for a little bit over 4 years. And I'll tell you, I really believe that I've gained a lot, not only knowledge, okay, knowledge to apply myself successfully inside the foreign exchange market and the cryptocurrency market. Okay. And so with all that said, what does all this cost? Okay. I know somebody was thinking like, man, I know he's going to say it's like $10,000. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a lower price than you're actually seeing on the screen right now. Okay. So don't rush off. You know, here's what I'm going to change your money psychology. A lot of people, they'll see something like this and they'll go ghost as soon as they realize there's a cost. And I want you to understand there's a cost to everything. Okay. And sometimes that cost is not money. See, there's a cost for not paying money for something. Okay. Sometimes that's a loss of something. When you're not willing to pay the price of something, it's a loss of something. And I had to learn that, listen, I was not going to risk knowledge of something, especially something that was just 3 figures, for the opportunity to do more in life, right? The opportunity to potentially, get to 6 or 7 figures, or whatever the case may be. Now, understand, past results don't equal future results. You have to work. You got to educate yourself. What I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that their lives were changed because they plugged in. All right. And so we have our elite membership. That means everything I just talked about, our Forex Academy, our HFX Academy, our D6 Academy, and every different app that we have, you can get in for $325. Get everything. Then it's $274 a month. Or you can say, hey, I just want to do one of the academies one at a time. So maybe you start with Forex. Okay. And then this is like an a la carte. You come in for $235 one time, and then your monthly is just going to be $174. Now you can add on different add-ons once you get in. And this is what I love about it. You choose and pick what fits you, okay, as a student. Okay, so you know what's best for you. So you get to just kind of pick, oh, I like this, I like that, don't like this. And so you choose and pick. You've got our HFX, or you can come in for our DCX. And better yet, instead of paying $235, it's only $185 tonight. Okay. And so listen, this is less than a week of groceries. Definitely less than a week of groceries for people. Okay. And so I'll tell you, this is what will happen. If you like what you see right now, there's a person who got you on this call, and all you got to do when we get off is say, hey, send me that referral link. I'm ready to get started. And when you start with us as a student, it's only $185. Immediately, you're going to get access to our academy, whether you do Forex, whether you do HFX, whether you do DCX or ECX inside of our company. Okay. And of course, as a student, there's no contracts. There's no additional fees that you have to pay. Okay. The day that you say, I don't want to be a student anymore, you can just take your credit card information out the system and you don't got to pay the monthly. That's what I love about our program. Fully transparent. If you want to waive your fees, listen, my first night, I got super excited. I plugged in to the Forex, for example. That was my first academy I got involved with. And one of my first mentors, Dr. Kathy Kirkland, okay, phenomenal educator, trader, okay, and her strategy, ECC11. I remember plugging into that, learning about how lines cross lines. But when I first seen it, okay, it looked like an EKG. Can I be honest? I didn't know what I was looking at. And this is what you got to just know. Right? It may take you 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to learn how to do this thing the right way. But I promise you, if you just stay the course, you're going to learn. But that first night, I got super excited because my first night, all that happened was this. The person that got me involved just showed me how to push 2 buttons. They say, hey, here's the sell button, here's the buy button. And when you hear those words, when you see those zones, you just do what they say do. And I did exactly that. My first night was a profitable night. And I remember hopping up off the kitchen table, running around the house, okay, run to my wife and said, babe, oh my God, we about to get super rich. I can't believe this is real. Who makes money from their phone by clicking a button? I didn't know about this market, and you probably didn't either, and now you do, okay? And so if you decide to get 2 other students involved and they say yes, okay, that $174 per month, you don't have to pay it as long as you have 2 active customers. So that's our program. Now I want you to say with me, optional. Go ahead and type this in the chat, optional, okay? For some reason, most people don't get it. They don't have to do this part. This is like an a la carte. You choose what's best for you. But I have an analogy. If you were walking and you seen 2 $20 bills laying on the ground, do you just pick up one of them or do you pick up both? Okay? Yes, you're going to pick up both. And so I'm going to show you is all ways that you can benefit from the system. Remember I said system entrepreneurs figure out systems. I'm going to show you a system that can give your money an assignment and help yourself grow, okay, where you become a digital entrepreneur. And so you can become an influencer of our company where you show people how to get involved. Okay, you show people how they can change their life in a way so they can create education for themselves, so they can understand cryptocurrency, so they understand the foreign exchange market. And so here's how this works. If you decide to do this part, like I said, you don't just start here. When you start with us, you're going to start off with one of the customer packages. And if you decide to refer, let's say you refer your 2 customers, you have your fees waived. But let's say you get a 3rd customer and you're like, you know what? I want more. I want to make more money from this concept here. Well, when you put in your 3rd customer, you have the opportunity to actually upgrade to our business system for $15. Listen to me. Do you realize to start a McDonald's franchise costs you got to have at least a net worth $1 million, okay, to even be considered? And I'm talking about $15 to have the opportunity, okay, to go out and build something with our organization, okay, and be a part of this process. And our goal is to impact and empower 1 million families. And so when you become a Platinum 150 with us, I mean, you brought in 3 customers, you're going to start getting paid $37.50 a week. We get paid every Friday. Okay. When 3 customers turn to 12, this is what I thought was pivotal. You know what people are doing for $600 a month? They're out there working away from their families. Okay. Spending countless hours on the road. Okay. Driving around people, and they're barely getting $600 a week. And we have people who have learned how to just say, hey, I'm working in this system. I'm learning about cryptocurrency. I'm learning about Forex. I'm learning how to become a digital entrepreneur in the e-commerce space. You should check it out. And those people check it out and say, wow, this is awesome. I'm in. Okay. Well, you do that. And guess what? Your folks are going to do that as well, too. Well, that's $150 a week in residual income. Okay. When 12 grows to 30, okay, this can happen organically. 12 grows to 30, that's $250 a week. Okay. Call a Platinum 1000. When you become a Platinum 2000, when I came into the company, it took me 1 week to hit Platinum 2000. Okay. I was excited. And so when we launched in this organization, we got 75 customers in along. It wasn't us putting in 75 customers. It was us as a collective unit. See, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Isn't it awesome that you get to work with other people and you work with a community of people that have the same vision and goals as you? That's what community means. And so that first week we hit Platinum 2000. That's $500 a week. Okay. In 4 weeks' time, we hit the rank of Platinum 5000. Now, your results may not be my results. We had experience inside this industry, but we also understood that we can go as fast as we want, or we can go as slow as we want. See, today you don't have a money problem now that I showed you this. You now have a work problem and you have a decision problem. You make a decision and you go to work, then you can experience some things on here. So Platinum 5000 means you're making $1,250 every single week. That's $60,000 per year. Okay. Knowledge-wise. Do you realize in America right now, the combined household income is $57,000. That means 2 working adults in one household, a husband and a wife. They both together make $57,000. And you become a Platinum 5000, our company has $60,000 per year residually. Okay. We at the level of Chairman 10 in 60 days. That is $2,500 weekly. That's $10,000 per month. When we came in, of course, our goal was to go there very, very fast. Okay. You also get an additional bonus at that level. And so an average Chairman 10 in our company makes about $12,000 per month. Chairman 25, we hit that in 16 months time. Okay. That's $6,250 per week. The next level is called Chairman 50, $50,000 per month. I know when you're looking at this, especially if you haven't been around this type of money, you're like, how is this even possible? Okay. Businesses are making money, folks. Okay. There are different business models. Walmart makes billions of dollars. Okay. But they still pay people what? Minimum wage, $15 an hour. Okay. And so that the only difference is partnership. This is what partnership looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what you get paid for what you worth looks like. So if you're a hard worker today and you know that, then you have an opportunity to actually expose yourself to a system like this that really gives you the value for the work that you work. Now, you may be on the other end of that. You're like, well, I really don't work, or I actually do the minimum every time I go to work, and I don't do that much. And you're lazy. Well, this may not be the part, but like I said, this part is optional. You don't have to do this part, okay? And so I love what we do, folks. Obviously, the top level in our company, Chairman 750, is $750,000 a month. That's for the top go-getters out there. If you really want to just really go hard in our company and be someone that's pivotal to the success of this company, definitely, I challenge you to get on board tonight, get plugged in with your sponsor, and let them know that you're ready to go. See, what I believe is your journey, it starts right now. Okay. Excuses. Okay. We can put excuses for everything. I can provide excuses for a lot of things. Okay. But what I'll tell you is excuses don't pay the bills. Excuses don't make us free. Excuses don't allow us to live the life that we were meant to live. Today, my family, I have 5 kids. Okay. You know, my daughter ranges from 23-year-olds, and my kid ranges to my youngest. My youngest is 7 years old. Okay. I retired out of the Air Force in 2013. I became a full-time entrepreneur, you know, that year of 2013, and I never stopped. And today, what my life looks like is I get to wake up with my family. I get to wake up with my kids every single day. Okay. Get to take them to school, pick them up from school. Okay. I get to hang out with them. They're here right now. Listen, I didn't have to go to work today, right? And still be away from my family. I got to spend time with my kids. You know, we're sitting by the fireplace making s'mores today. Okay. It's the memories and experiences that you get to create because you've accumulated enough wealth so that you can do those things. So it's not about the money. I want you to hear that. It's about what you can do when you do have the money. And the money is what allows you to be free. And so if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. That's exactly. And so I believe now is your time to really make a decision and change your life in a major way. And so I appreciate you listen, you know, you guys stayed on here. Some of you stayed this whole time. We've been going, 45 minutes. So I appreciate your time on here. Listen, get back to the person that invited you on this call. Let them know that you are ready. And I look forward to working and seeing each and every one of you at the top of the system, no matter what it is, whether you become a phenomenal trader, whether you become a phenomenal crypto person, whether you become an educator like I'm doing right now, whatever that thing is, okay, I can't wait to see it. So you guys have a great night. I'm going to, just like we came in, I'm going to put some music out. I believe that one of the greatest things that you can say to yourself today. Okay, there's 2 words, I am, followed by greatness. Okay, whatever you see yourself in the future, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am healthy. Okay, I am happy. Whatever that is, I want you to think about that as you hear this song and listen to these words here. But that is our call today, folks. I appreciate you all. You guys have a blessed night. Let's go. Yes.
Saw the bills on your table for your own. I would be nothing.
Yes.
Without you holding me up.
The words.
Not strong enough for both of us. Both of us. I am a giant. Stand up on my shoulders. Tell me what you see. 'Cause I am a giant. We'll be breaking boulders underneath our feet. I am the giant. Oh, I am the giant. Don't hide your emotions. You can throw down your guard and feed from the notion. We can be who we are. You taught me something.